How's everybody doing today? Today we are going to be talking about massage business. That's what we're going to be talking about. But we will be taking questions about massage therapy, pain, symptoms, limitations, conditions, anything you've been facing, and how massage can help. Um, we got LMTs from Canada coming through.
What?
Yeah. I remember this guy, Rain RMT, dude from Canada. I met him like 2 months ago, I believe. He was here in Vegas for a few days. Cool guy. Hope he's doing good up there. So, but today Kelly and I will be talking about business, being in the massage business, being an entrepreneur, how to level up your business, hopefully. Just talking about ideas and exchanges, things that we've learned as we've been in this process of just trying to level up each and every year, the mistakes, the do's, the don'ts, what worked, what didn't. Oh man, the headaches, what you
Yes.
accept, what you don't accept, your boundaries, things like this. So, how long have you been in massage therapy now, Kelly? Like working on your own?
So working on my own, I actually just started my business in July of 2023. So I'm fairly new to owning my own business. Surprisingly, it took off way faster than I ever thought, especially in a town of only 17,000 people. I did not expect for it to grow so fast to where I already have an employee, but
Oh,
I'm still fairly new
nice.
in the business side of things. What about you?
I have been in business for 8 years. 8 years,
And what did you do?
and I
Did you
I
work for
failed
someone else?
my first. I've been doing massage 11 years. The first like two to 3 years I did work for other people. Did not work out. Opened up my first business, failed. Opened up business number two, completely failed. And I finally got it right on the third time when I created the torture room 6 years ago.
So, why did your first two fail?
Um, okay. Why, dude, that's the big question. That's one that you want to reflect on.
Hmm.
Looking back, I try to be like everybody else.
Yep.
That is the number one thing. When you look at your competition, when you look at, okay, now I'm in the massage business, I'm an entrepreneur. You got to know your demographics of who you're competing against, your location. And I was like, oh, okay, this is how they market. This is how this person markets. So what was I doing? Miguel Wajardo open for business. I do sports massage, relaxation, therapeutic, trigger point. So I was just advertising like everybody else.
Hmm.
And so I tried to be like everybody else. And that failed really, really bad because the number one thing in massage, it's not what you know how to do, it's the environment, the energy you can put them in.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
and I had one thing that was going wrong for me, and people will say, no, that's not true. But the number one thing that was going wrong for me that I did not know how to manage was the fact I'm a guy
Hmm.
and I'm in massage therapy. So that was the biggest hurdle that I had to face, and I didn't know because I just was oblivious to it. I was blind to it because all I saw was, oh, she's doing this, she's doing that, he's doing this, all these veteran massage therapists, and then I'm like, okay, well, I can do all that, but you have to look at how you present yourself. I'm a guy. I have tattoos. I have this certain persona on me, and it was like you do. I've had people say, "This is what you do. This is where people go." Like this is kind of weird. So I didn't know who I was as a therapist, so I was trying to be like everybody else. That's why business one failed. So
And that's why I think like the schools always tell these new massage therapists like work for somebody else first, like figure out, and that's great, but it doesn't mean that you can't start a business right out of school. It's just as a new massage therapist, you don't really know where you want to go, what you want to do, who you want to market to. I tell everybody like what is your niche? Like if you could pick the number one perfect client that you would work on Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, every day for the rest of your life, and it would bring you joy. What does that person look like? And when you figure out like what you want your client to be or who you want your client to be, that's when you can start like narrowing in like, okay, I want to work on bodybuilders. I want to work on, like, I just had a call with somebody who we were trying to figure out like what her niche is, and she's fairly new to business. She doesn't really understand like where she wants to go with it, and she started talking, and after listening to her, she really likes helping helpers. Like, she wants to help first responders because they are the stressed out ones and they have nowhere to turn. So she wants to be that person that they turn
Mhm.
to. So it's like, if once you get out of school and figure out, like you said, who you are as a therapist, that will help you better market yourself to the clients. Because if you're like everybody else, you're going to fail. It's just, it is what it is. There's 1,000 other relaxation places around the
Mhm.
corner that somebody can go to that's probably $30 cheaper than you.
Mhm.
And they're going to pick them over you because they don't know the difference.
Right. Yeah, you're 100% right on that. And sometimes people can get discouraged when you're like, how am I supposed to find myself or find who I am as a LMT when it seems like everybody's the same?
Mm-hmm.
But you don't really know that because if, and I tell people, a lot of massage therapists, early newcomers, I'm like, go get a massage from as many people as you can.
Yes.
People that you're seeing, people that you're noticing their social media is high or how they advertise, and you got a hold of them. You just start seeing the flyer or the ad. Go book a massage.
Mm-hmm.
It looks similar face value. It looks very similar, but when you walk in, you're gonna notice the differences, the intricate details on why it is either somebody is so successful or somebody's like just gathering certain clientele that you're like, I want to work with those people. Find out how they're actually working within the business, how they greet people, the paperwork, if there is any paperwork, what's the ambiance look like?
Mm-hmm.
What's, how do they approach them? Do they have an assistant there? What is it? Find out the ins and out. Don't just look at the ad and say, that's me, that's what I want to do. Because you don't know how they got there.
Right.
And you can really get to talk to some LMTs and really understand their story of what happened with them and how they got where they're at. Because the face value marketing kind of looks a little similar. You can word it differently, but it always looks somewhat similar. It's going to be a big gray area. So that's how you're going to find out who you are, and at least point you in a good direction of what you need to go down.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like looking at you and how successful you are and all of the big name clients that you get to work on. Like, you would have never thought that you failed twice in business. Like, you would have thought that you had it all figured out. So it's like that's what you're saying is like
Yeah, I
you
figured
can
out how
never
to
judge.
lose very good. That's what I figured out. I figured out how to lose very good.
And that's the thing though, is like look at your niche, look at how specific you are, your vibes, like your colors, your branding, like everything. If you see red and black, you know it's Torture Room. Like, that's, you've done so well at branding yourself, and people know that if they want a good massage to where it's going to fix their pain or work on the postural things or get scraping or anything like that, like, like Miguel's your guy. Like, go to Miguel. He's going to fix you. He's going to make you feel better. He's going to make you pose better. He's going to help you with your glute striations. Like, he's your dude. So,
Yeah. One thing I do want to point out is uh, for any other LMT that is listening or just is on their journey, is just know that the niche you want to get into, it's gonna change you because you don't really know what you're gonna have to go through.
mhm.
Like your friend or the person that reached out to you and they said, I want to help like first responders, people that help other people. Like, you don't know what that really means. All you understand just by looking at them is they work long hours, they're very stressed out, they have to help other people, they might see some traumatic accidents where they have to help people on the spot. So like what does that really mean when it comes to massage therapy when you say I want to help them? You know,
Mhm.
it's not just a physical thing, it's also psychological. Think about somebody that has to go through that, you know,
Mhm.
help people like that. So your detail of knowledge has to very, very much so accommodate them. You can't just say, this is why I tell so many people don't don't rely too much on the modality. Don't
Mhm.
like think of it as like that. It has to be because that's what's in the book. Read as much knowledge as you can and see how it fits in to the person that's going to be walking into your room. You know, whether they're a first responder person or not, they think about and view the world very differently. Some people might say, "I want to know." You know, I'm very analytical. What do you know about the human body?
Mhm.
Like, is this a massage or is it like, what do you know about anatomy? You know, if you think you know anatomy and you're spitting out anatomy and they're like, I know what you're talking about and what you're saying is wrong. Like, you need to brush up on your education. You might lose a rapport, you know,
Mhm.
and then you might have somebody who's very like, uh, energetic, very emotional side. As long as you make them feel good, they're going to be okay, you know, regardless. And that's how we know the value of touch can supersede education at that point. But how far can you go with that? So understand your education level and what you have to do. So just to get to the demographics and be have a huge impact if you want to have one. So that's the biggest thing. You're gonna have to keep changing the path that you walk down. You might have to take a hard left or a hard right, or you'd be like, I didn't know I had to read up on this subject, but now I do. Well, why? You'll understand when you're in the mix.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like a lot of the times, like therapists tend to nav kind of go toward like things that they're used to. So I was a firefighter, I was a CrossFitter, I've worked out, all that stuff. So I feel more comfortable working on that clientele because I can relate to them. So
Yeah.
it makes it easier for me. Like I understand what they go through on a daily basis. I understand all that stuff. So that's like really important. But we're kind of like chameleons. Like we have to the one of the books that I read that changed the way that I think about humans and interaction is How to Win Friends and Influence People. Like
Hmm.
that's an incredible book. It's just knowing how to kind of meet the people. Not we're not only meeting tissues where they're at, we're meeting people where they're at. And it's like
Exactly.
that's stuff that we don't get taught in school. There's no continuing education on how to deal with people. And a lot of the times massage therapists
You're letting
fail.
the cat out the
Yeah.
bag. That's what you're doing.
Ah. So a lot of the times I feel like massage therapists fail just because they're not good people person. Like they're not good with the
Well,
people. And it's like if you learn how to deal with people and how to meet them where they're at and talk their language and market to the right people with their
mhm,
language, I feel like that will help you in the long run.
yeah. And you're 100% right on that. Is in massage therapy, in within the curriculum, we don't get taught interpersonal communication.
Mhm.
So a lot of people will come into massage therapy saying, I want to help people. Like I'm a helper. I'm an empath. Somewhere along these lines, they fit in there, and I just want to help everybody. And not really knowing that that takes a lot of it puts a toll on you mentally as the person, as the practitioner. So if you don't know how to relate to different people and take your feelings out of the situation, you are going to feel so overwhelmed where you're going to say, it was too much. I didn't like it. And you're going to start to cherry pick people where you'll only work on the clients that fit you, where you have to be the practitioner that fits the client.
Right.
And that's how you can keep progressing, advancing, gaining more experience, getting the good rapport, closing in on your niche of people. But if you're like, I only want to work on the people that fit well with me, it's like, okay, there's a lot of people out there that need help. If you're a true helper,
Hmm.
if you like, I really want to help people, guess what? Let me tell you, there's a lot of messed up people out there that have different ideas, ideologies. They believe their belief systems are different. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's about can we help alleviate symptoms, you know, gain better range of motion, bring mobility, or just help them de stress at any kind of level.
Right.
So now that you've been in business for a couple of months now, and you've gained a few clients. At the beginning, let's talk
Yep.
about this. What are the things, what are like the three top things that surprised you when you opened up your business that you didn't know was going to happen?
Ooh. Um, I'd probably say like finance and budget is one of the things that I didn't really plan for. I didn't realize that you have to keep track of everything that you buy for your business because you can deduct it on taxes. So I had to go back like months because I've never owned a business. So I literally had to go back. I had to get a CPA. I had to track all my expenses, all of that stuff. I think that was like something that really surprised me on that end. Something else I would say was like the wording around like rebooking a client. Like I was very unaware. Like I was very timid. I didn't want to feel salesy. I didn't want to feel pushy. So I never really like would force rebooking a client, and then I would have to reach out to them later down the road or get new clients in.
Mhm.
And I realized quickly that nurturing the relationships that you've already made is going to be your best bet for rebooking. If you already
Yeah,
have that relationship with a client, if you
right.
learn good ways to rebook them, and then once they find the value in what you do, you don't even have to try anymore. Like they're just going to rebook.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that was another thing. And then one other thing that I learned is once you create your LLC, make sure it's the one that you really want to go with. I created the Rehab Room Calhoun, which means that I'm in Calhoun, Georgia. But I thought a little while ago, like, what if I want to expand to another city? I can't have the Rehab Room Calhoun because what if it's in Rome or what if it's in Dalton or somewhere else? So I had to change my business name, my LLC, to the Rehab Room LLC,
Yeah.
and all of my hundreds of dollars of business cards that I bought with that on it. I've created a new logo, all that stuff. So, just before you really invest a lot of money and time into building that LLC or that brand that you want, make sure it's very generic. Make sure that even if you don't think in 5 years that you'll expand, hire an employee, all that stuff, like it's not in the cards, just never rule it out because you never know how quick your business is going to take off. You never know where it's going to go. So just think way out in the future of like what if this happened and start from day one.
So it was finance,
Yeah.
um, money management, and
Yes. Yeah.
paperwork. Those were your top three that you did not realize was
Yes.
a mountain to climb when you were starting your
Yeah, the
business.
hands-on part was easy.
So
Like I know how to do massage.
yeah,
It's the other side that people never teach you. And
so
if you've never taken a business class,
so let's talk about
yeah.
finance. And again, this is for anybody who might be listening or see this in the future. Like, look at your budget. Look at how you want to present yourself. Do you need a lot of money if you want to be a mobile massage therapist? Do you need a lot of money if you want to have your own lease out your own building, or do you need a certain amount of money to rent a room? Like, most importantly, do you need a loan, a business loan to get it started, or do you have the funding for yourself? When you can understand where you want to start your placing, remember, you only need to start. Once you start, then you can evolve from there. You
Mhm.
don't need to say, I need to have, a two-story building with a big name on the top that, and dump, $80,000 in business loans because you need to look so professional. You can start small. So know your finances and know where you can start. And that might be the best way to just get your foot in the door. And within a year, you'll understand how quickly you advance, how much income you're actually getting in revenue, and where you want to go from there to help more or a bigger group of people, like even get an employee. And so money management, that's going to be the big one right there. So you, that really falls into, you know, if you don't understand finances, get a CPA.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you have to switch your mindset from an employee mindset to an entrepreneur mindset. And here's the thing, when you've always been an employee, you have no clue what it takes to be an entrepreneur. So money management, let somebody else handle the money. Just let somebody else handle it. You gather all the receipts, let them have access to your bank accounts, let them know how money is flowing. They'll actually guide you in what you should do, whether it's putting money into business savings, allocate this much for the business, this is how much you actually earn, things like that. So hand that off to somebody else. And the paperwork, you you nailed that one on the head. That can always change. You can always close off an LLC and rechange it, but it's okay when that happens, because as you grow, you're going to find out what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to change it, guess what? The revenue should be there for you to change it. Don't feel too bad if you're like, I just spent $1,400 on this LLC and now I need to change it because I don't want it anymore. I want to do this. That's okay. So don't ever feel frustrated. And these are the biggest tackles that you face that somebody else might be facing too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what are now three great things that you should be doing and that has worked for you.
Ooh. Education. So I love to educate my clients on what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. I think the education part of what I do um, gives them a little bit more of a reason to rebook. They trust me. It builds rapport. I feel like, and this might be very generic to like sports massage, because if you're obviously like a relaxation therapist, nobody wants to talk to you during your massage. Like it's just quiet. But with what we do, I feel like it's a little more relatable to where we can talk through our sessions, our clients are talking to us, all that stuff. Um, I think don't be afraid to respond during a session if a client talks to you. Like it's okay to talk back to them. Um, I think that's one good thing. Another thing I think is time management. Time management is really hard to nail down. I think if you're owning a business and you're hands on with your business 24/7, you're never going to have the time to build your business. So I think you need to set yourself up to where you know how much money you're going to make, or how much money you need to make in the month. Divide that by how much your session is, and then realize how many clients you need in a month to pay your bills, pay your overhead, all that stuff. Once you figure that out and you say, okay, I need 40 clients a month at X rate, I can take those on 3 days a week or 4 days a week, and I can fill those days. And then Tuesdays, Thursdays, I take strictly for business management. So
Here's
Tuesdays,
a here's
Thursdays,
a here's a very good question for you. What
yeah.
advice would you give somebody when they ask you, how should I price myself? Because I see a person over here at X amount. I see this person over here at this amount, and it's all a spectrum, highs and lows. What advice would you give somebody if they said, how should I price myself?
So first I would look at your experience. So how much experience do you have? What do
Brand
you
new.
offer that
I'm brand
brand new?
new.
You're
I just
brand
got
new.
my diploma last week, and I want to open up a business, and I'm figuring it out what should I price myself at? How do I gain my pricing?
So I would research every single massage therapist around you, what they do, what they charge, what they offer session time wise. So do they offer 30, 60, 90, 120? How much do they offer? What are their specialties? What are their certificates? If you don't have any specialties or certificates and you're brand new, you can't really charge a more than Joe Schmo over here who has 8 certificates and has been doing it for 20 years and has a full book of clients. I feel like that's gonna it's gonna kind of counteract like what you're trying to do. You're trying to build your business. So when I started about the same price as every other therapist in town, but
Mhm.
I raised my prices and now I'm the most expensive therapist in town and I'm booked out. So you kind of have to start like average. If you don't have any experience, I wouldn't necessarily go out the gate with like being more expensive than anybody else. Um, you kind of have to prove yourself a little bit in that, I feel like. But I feel like once you find your worth, find your niche, find your flow of everything, you get your continuing education or you expand your knowledge and you feel like you have something different to offer, that's when you can up your prices. And it's okay to up your prices. You shouldn't be scared to up them, especially if you have more to offer than anybody else around you. So, what about you? What's your thought on that?
That's my thought on that one. That is, I mean, with business, it's like I always say, well, what I tell people that I work with is set yourself 10% below where you think you fit in. You're going to find people who are like, somebody's only giving them out for 45 bucks.
Right.
And then you find somebody else that's like, dude, they are charging 200. And it's like, where do you think you fit in? Well, where you want to be, but where do you think you fit in? And it's like, well, I can be over here. Okay, the average is somewhere, let's just say 125. Set yourself 10% below that and really, really, market yourself with that. But you're just gonna have to be. It's just the reality, it's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
And it's surprising that some people don't know that. I have met LMTs that got their certificate a week ago, and when they open doors, they're charging 250 an hour. Yeah, it's uh,
How booked are
I've asked
they?
question. I've asked questions. I've asked questions, and it's like it's the economy. Everything's expensive, but they charge 250 an hour, and I'm like, whoa, that's more than what I charge. Um,
Yeah, I work with a therapist out in Rome, and he was teaching at a massage therapy school, and he's finally had to up his prices. He was charging 80, and he's booked out like 5 years in advance, I think. Like he's one of the best. And
hey
he's like, I was
Diane,
charging 80.
how you doing? My friend Diane from the East Coast just joined.
Yeah, so he
So
was he was charging 80, and the people that were graduating from his classes in massage therapy school were starting to charge 100, and he's like, I had to up my prices because people that were just graduating were charging more than me. And he's like, it was mind blowing to me. So I
that's a
guess,
European thing. That's a European thing. They call them more physios in Europe, depending on what area in Europe you're at. But we don't get a lot of recognition in Europe. So it's very custom that they charge lower. But I said to a few of them, like you have to understand what your what your value is,
right.
what your value is. Especially if somebody's coming to you continuously. But if your rates have always been somewhat moderate and it's always been that way for, let's just say, 3 years, it's going to shock a lot of your clients when you raise them. But
Hmm.
you can always grandfather people in. Um, oh yeah, what the wolf? Can you read
Wolf's
that?
Den.
I'm,
It's not letting me see any of the chats. I don't know what's going on
oh,
with
you
that.
got to open up your chats, yo. That was one of the first bits of advice that I said when Kelly moved here. Oh, okay, okay, they're talking about you. Um,
That's my
uh,
boss. That's who I rent my room from.
don't undercut yourself. Charge what you're worth and grow from there. Okay, but that's the thing. Not everybody's gonna know what their worth is. You're not gonna know. You're gonna understand when you start somewhere. That's why I tell everybody at the beginning, where you think you might fit in, just charge 10% below that. And if if you want to go big, that's a risk. Business is all risk.
Hmm.
It's all risk. So you can't be upset if you lose everything, and you better be very grateful if it really works out. I happened to lose everything twice to the point that after my second business failed, um, I was I was homeless for a year.
Wow.
I lost my home. I was living out of my car. I had to donate plasma twice a week just to make anything, just to make the payments on my car and maybe get a cup of coffee. So
That's amazing.
for 1 year, I was living in my car, and that's when I came up with the torture room concept. It humbled me so much that I went back to basics. I had to rediscover who I was, and I had to rediscover, well, I should say I had to discover who I was because I didn't know who I was. And when I found out that I could be my own person in massage and I came up with the torture room concept, I'm like, well, what does that mean to me? What does
Hmm.
it mean to me to be the torture room? And this is when you start to discover your why. Why are you even in this game? Why are you in the business of massage? What's the purpose and what's the passion? Because those are two separate things, you know? Purpose gives you fulfillment,
Hmm.
where passion gives you the ambition. So those are two separate things. You can have a lot of passion for massage therapy, but if it doesn't fulfill you, if you're constantly stressed out, it's really not your purpose. If you think that things just aren't always working out, maybe it's not your purpose. You can I was in that tunnel that I was like, should I even be in massage? I'm in this 5, 6 years and I'm like, I'm not helping nobody. I'm broke. I lost everything. Should I even keep doing it? And what turned me around was not what turned me around was when I was at the bottom and I finally was introduced to Jesus Christ. That's what turned my life around. I put my whole life into him. And I said, if this was meant to be for me, I will trust you in everything that you're going to do for me. So I started meditating. I started just getting quiet in my mind, understanding what did I do wrong? I had to reflect back. What was the mistake? And that's when I say I discovered who I was. And it was like, what's the torture room all about? And when I could figure out my vision and my mission statement, my purpose and my passion, if I can combine those four together, then it's like, okay, let's do it. And when I saw one opportunity to go live with the torture room, e- everything just 10x
That's
everything. So I
amazing.
put that's why I put all of my work on faith. I put my work in faith. You can learn all the books, you can know all the science, you can say I have all the passion for it, but if it doesn't align with your action and your purpose, you might struggle. Sometimes you might make it, but for me, I really rely on faith. And I had one goal in mind, and that's I just want to help. I told myself I want to help everybody around the world. Now, here was my vision. I was so visually like meditating for hours, envisioning myself traveling around the world helping people. It's like I could see myself in so many other countries. That did not happen.
It is
Okay, I'm
now.
still in America. But what did align with my vision is I now got sought out to work in a city where people from other countries fly to.
Yeah.
And I meet and work with people from so many different parts of the world that, you know, I meet somebody from China and they're like, dude, like everybody knows who you are. I meet somebody from Belgium and they're like, oh yeah, we've heard of you. We've heard of you.
Really.
It's crazy. So the vision didn't align perfectly, but the purpose is there and that fulfills a lot of my, you know, passion of what I'm doing. So
That is so cool. That's so inspiring to so many people because so many people are so scared to take that leap. And I've talked to a few people who are like, I have to pay my bills. I can't take the leap and start my own business yet. And I said, well, if you take the leap and that's your only option, you'll make it work. You have to have faith and you have to take the leap.
if anything, you have to at least believe in yourself.
Hmm.
You know, I have 100% belief knowing and faith in Jesus Christ. But I know there's people that aren't on that bandwagon. And if anything, you have to believe in yourself at least, at bare minimum. Believe in yourself, in your vision. If you don't have that, why should anybody else?
I agree.
Miguel, let's see here. Let's see here. Miguel, 100% faith. Would you ever bring on any other team members? If so, how would you go about finding um, other minded providers? I would love to bring on another team member. I have been looking for 2 years for another team member. So if you know anybody that wants to be part of the torture room theory and work here in Las Vegas, let me know. Reach out to me. Reach out to me. I would love to personally train hands on a person for 2 to 3 months and then have them open up their own room here, working with me to advance all this torture room business that I have going on.
I can
So
I can speak a little on that because I've had an independent contractor and now I have an employee. So
yeah.
that that's been a challenge, and there's two different ways of thinking about it. The IC, the independent contractor, it's usually like a split, like a 50-50 split, 60-40 split, whatnot. But unfortunately with the independent contractor, you cannot tell them the hours they need to work. You cannot tell them the uniform they need to wear. You cannot tell them the style of massage. And so that's why I switched to employee, is because I made up, kind of like probably something that you would do. I made up a 12-hour continuing education course from start to finish of the rehab room protocols. So literally from start to finish, how I work on a client, pin and stretch, cupping, scraping, social media management, business strategies, how to rebook a client, all of that. I literally created a 12-hour course and I put the employee through the course. So if somebody comes to see me and then goes to see her, it's the very same massage. Now, granted, she's newer. She might have a different outlook on some things. Obviously, no two therapists are going to be identical,
Mhm.
but that's something to think about when you either want to hire an independent contractor versus an employee. So, would you
That's
want to
that's
hire an independent
that's
contractor or an employee?
That's, I think I would want to do employee, but I would say that's one right there that I would disagree with you
Okay.
on. I would hate to have somebody work with me and feel like, okay, if I'm not here and you're going to work with Z person, you're going to get the same treatment. It's going to be the same. Massage, I believe, is it's very unique to the touch. My
Hmm.
touch is very different than your touch.
Right.
My voice is different than your voice. My energy is different than your energy. So you can really, really be so creative as an individual to enhance a business where, it's not so uniformity, you know. When I hear something like that, I hear, okay, a business model like Massage Envy. That's the reason why they fired me. Massage Envy fired me. And they said that I wasn't doing the massage the way the Massage Envy protocol. And that's exactly what the owner told me when I got let go. And he goes, if you're not here at work and I have to transfer your clients to somebody else because you got sick or something happened, they should feel like they got the same massage you were in the room. And I was like, it has to be different. It has to be. We're all very individualized and very creative. The business model of what you give them can be extremely similar, at least 80%.
Hmm.
Hey, Kelly makes sure she understands A, B, and C from me before she starts the treatment. She analyzes A, B, and C. I do the same thing, but be creative with your touch. Be creative with don't go off the vision of what the Massage Room Academy is. This is the platform we use. But when you actually treat the person, be as creative as you can. That's how people flourish. That's how people add, I believe, extra value to your business.
Hmm.
because everybody has certain strengths. As long as their strengths and their creativity aligns with your vision and the platform. Um, but I, the one I disagree with is it should be the same as if I was there, the same. It's like, no, I'm different and I'm different. And because that's what I got fired for. They said I was not the same. And so I said, I'm going to be as different as I possibly can. I'm going to turn massage therapy upside down. And I'm going to show people how different I could really be as long as I work hard and stay true to my vision and my purpose and my passion. I will show not only myself, but everybody what's possible within massage therapy. And I don't even call the business massage anything. Not torture room massage, not torture room therapeutics, not
Mhm.
torture room rehab. I just call it a torture room. No one even knows what I do. And so I want to be so different that people are like, damn, I don't even know what he does. I don't know, but people go. And but I have to be grateful and I have to know the vision. 1 minute. Yeah, come in.
Oh, you treat me?
Yeah, I'm going live right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just had a big fan. He wanted to see you and schedule something, which so I didn't know you relax.
Yeah, I'll be out there in like 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Well, say hi to the live crew.
Yeah, okay. All
You
right.
got
Sorry
a
about
fan
that.
out there?
Yeah, yeah. Somebody wants to say hi.
That's
So
awesome.
uh it's a
Yeah,
great day.
so to speak on it, like she is different. So don't get me wrong, like we're not like robots. She's more heavy-handed. She's a lot more I guess what I'm trying to say is I created the protocols kind of like what you're saying. Like if you were to teach somebody, because she's only a year and a half out of school and she didn't have the cupping, she didn't have the scraping certificate, she didn't have any of that. So what I did was I kind of like condensed all of the courses that I've ever took and what I implement in my room. So she like what we do here is we cup, scrape, movement, all that kind of stuff, more like sports related stuff. I just wanted to make sure that she had that knowledge of
Hmm.
everything prior to just doing a deep tissue or doing a regular massage.
Yeah,
So she still is different. I'm not going to be like you're fired if she doesn't do cupping in a massage because there's some people that don't want cupping.
yeah.
But I definitely think when you have an employee that it's good to have uniformity in some aspects of your business.
Right. Oh, that's 100% right. I wouldn't know. You would know more on that than I would because I don't have employees. Um, but for 6 years, and I've been doing this 11 years, I've never once thought, though, oh, maybe I should bring one. Maybe I should. I'm always open to the idea.
Mhm.
I have met a few people who have came to me and said, hey, listen, like I would love to work with you and be part of the torture room. And when I talk to them for a day, or I usually have told them, spend half the day with me. Just spend half the day, and we talk and reflect back and analyze things. And you know, I more look for character.
Mhm.
That's what I look for. I look for, do you truly want to help people? Because that's what I'm about.
Right.
Um, I'm not here to try to make $1 million. I'm not. You know, I'm truly in the business of helping people. And if you're not on board with that, if you're just going to be so overwhelmed, it's like, well, I don't want to help that kind of
Mhm.
person. It's like to me, I'm like, that's a human being.
Right.
I'm a little bit more humanitarian. So I'm like, at the end of the day, that's a human being with real emotions, real issues, real symptoms, real pain. And if you say you want to help people, like never turn somebody away. Like never, don't do that. And that business model there has got me so many clients who say nobody is willing to help me.
Mhm.
And I've had pain management doctors send me people and say, I have a difficult patient. They're very difficult. They're very loud. They go up against everything, but I told them you don't refuse anybody, so they're willing to give you a try. Guess what? That's an opportunity to sell yourself.
Mhm.
That's an opportunity to advance. That's an opportunity to learn and gain experience. That's
Mhm.
an opportunity to enhance your interpersonal communication skills. That's an opportunity to understand why a person believes something so hard that they're in pain. You start to turn the cube of the reality that is within a person's mind. And this is why I say massage therapy can change a person's reality.
Mhm.
All you need is to give somebody hope, just a glimpse of hope to say, I'm not going to let you fall down in life with pain. I'm going to be here. So that's why I actively listen. And I say that let me show you what massage can do. I'm not going to tell you what I do.
Mhm.
I'm not going to tell you I do scraping. I'm not going to tell you I do all these fancy modality. I just want to tell you what massage can do. And as long as they listen, then it's like okay. But if somebody wouldn't at least want to, you know, jump that hurdle and like take that head on, it's like if you want to learn, come with me. Come with me. It's like let's do it. Let's figure it out. And guess what? It will all help you as you grow as a massage therapist. When you finally grow into who you are and what you want to be, guess what? You can do whatever you want when you leave the torture room, you know?
Mhm.
So,
And that's the thing is it's so hard to find therapists that have that mindset. Like a lot of therapists go to school because they think it'll just be an easier job or they can just work at a Hand and Stone or a Massage Envy and make their money or whatnot.
yeah,
Not a lot of people have that outlook that you do to where they take into consideration everything about a human and human interactions. And it's very hard to find. And with employing somebody or finding an independent contractor, it's near impossible to find somebody that has the same ideas and passion and ambition that you will. It's just
yeah.
really, really hard.
I asked somebody one day who runs a very successful business, and he told me, "You'll never find anybody who is 100% on board like you." He goes, "You need to search for somebody who's 80%."
Mm.
So in that 80%, just make sure they understand your vision and the mission statement of your business. Just the vision
Yeah.
and the mission. What's the mission behind it? What are we really here to do? You know, I get it. Everybody has lives. Everybody has, a different lifestyle, things like that. But the goal of massage is to help people.
Right.
You can look at helping people just by, oh, I got all the education and we're looking to roll in the money and we're here available to you anytime you want. Or it can go as personal as you want. I chose the other side because I know what it's like to be at the bottom and I
Right.
know what it's like to be in pain and nobody help you. And I know what it's like to have nobody listen to you when you have something to say. So I chose a very personal route that's very faith based,
Mm.
and that I think that has helped me the most in anything. And but it keeps me in competition with people like you, Kelly. That's what it does. It keeps me because I got to go up against science and business. I got to go up against that. All I have is my mind and my heart. That's all I
But
got.
that's the best thing. Like you said, we're all unique in our own ways, and that's why somebody might relate and go to you more than they might come to me.
Yeah,
So that's why we're so different, and it literally boils down to just being a good person. Like if you at your core are a truly good person and you truly care about people and the betterment of a human being, you will be a successful therapist.
yeah. All right. So how long have you been a therapist, massage therapist?
I've been licensed since 2010, so
Since
almost 15 years.
2010?
Yeah.
Yeah. What since you got into massage therapy, what has surprised you about massage therapy? Like what has surprised you
Um,
about being in the game that you did not think was like I never thought this was part of massage. Like what was it? Was it like
Honestly, yeah.
was it
I think
the
like where I started out, I think it gave me a bad taste in my mouth. Like I worked for the Hand and Stone, so it was kind of like massage envy. And
yeah,
it gave me a bad taste in my mouth because I didn't feel like I could truly help anybody.
yeah.
And I think starting my own business has lit a fire under me to where, like, now that I can speak with my clients and I have a very good rapport with my clients and they write back and I get reviews and, like, I see that what I'm doing here actually is helping and changing lives. And I think
Mhm.
that has been that has given me the greatest joy and created such an impact in my life because in the beginning, like I said, I did it part time in the beginning. It wasn't a full time job. And now pouring my whole heart and soul into this business and realizing that touch can change so many lives in so many different ways. I think that's the biggest thing that's changed for me over the 15 years.
Okay. Um, the the thing that surprised me the most about massage therapy is uh, so many different people that you're gonna run into, and how unique a pain symptom can arise.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. That's the one thing that surprised me in massage. I was like reading the books,
Mm-hmm.
taking all these courses, because we all go, ham on like education courses the first 2, 3 years.
Oh yeah.
Like I want to learn it all. I want to learn it
Yeah.
all. We're so and when I find out that when I'm like having consultations with people and I'm like, what the fuck did you do? What? And you're still walking? Like what? I was just surprised of how so many different people can have so many different unique ways of getting themselves into a certain condition. And it blew my mind, and I did not know. And I was like, I was overwhelmed. That that I thought it was just, oh man, it's like you have a tight muscle. I've just got this massage technique, and I'm just gonna make it all go away. You're gonna feel better. And it's like, are you? Like, are you really? Like, if you don't understand the symptom, you can't understand how to alleviate it. If all you know is, oh, the muscle's tight, and I know this specific technique, um, you're kind of just rolling the dice. But that was the one thing that surprised me about massage is just how unique pain symptoms like just live in people. And I was
Yeah.
like, I was like, I did not know what to do. I'm like, you don't have the teacher there no more to like ask questions,
Right.
and it's not like, hey, teacher, like they said this, and it's like, hey, you got your license, you're on your own. Figure it out, figure it the fuck out. And that was
Yeah.
very overwhelming. If anybody that's on the line has any questions about massage, pain, conditions, anything you're facing, like let us know. We will answer questions here on the spot. We got like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
That's another thing is like just the holistic approach to pain. So you've spoken a lot about it, about how stress management, sleep, different kinds of tissues, all that stuff. Like I had a client who came in yesterday who was undergoing a lot of family stress, a lot of home life stuff, wasn't sleeping good. Usually I can do a little bit of deeper pressure on her, but yesterday I literally touched her and she was like, "Ooh, that hurts." And I'm like, "Okay." Knowing how her tissues were that sensitive at that moment because of all the other stress, I backed off a little bit. I didn't go as deep of the normal pressure that I normally would on her because her tissues were already so stressed from life. So it's like
mhm,
like you're saying, like just understanding people's pain perception and other things that can play into the pain perception are huge in understanding how to work on each specific client.
right, right. So we have two questions here. The first one is therapy for traumatic events. So, traumatic brain injury. And so I have bad eyes, so I got to get this thing a little bit closer here. Uh, those people normally even disabled, having issues with arm, leg, and face, etc. The huge market I found out, ever thought of. So a traumatic event, and it is a brain injury, and now you're having issues with the arm, the leg, the face. So there's only so much massage can do. You know, we don't like heal anybody like that, like a doctor or a surgeon would. First, we'd have to understand the true extent of the traumatic injury. Like, how bad is it? What is it that you're trying to gain out of massage? But one thing massage does do is create so much blood flow. With proper blood flow, more muscle tissue, all tissue actually gets an abundance of nutrition, vitamins, and supplements that tissue just needs to just keep living on. So, you know, if somebody's like paralyzed, does massage help bring it right back? No, it doesn't. So I don't want people to have this idea that it's that magical, but we can help alleviate some pain symptoms within areas that just are a little flaccid. But that does play a very complementary role with somebody going through physical therapy who really know how to activate muscle tissue, and we know how to bring proper blood flow with certain techniques and modalities. And that's a good way we can work with trauma patients right there that are that's a very severe treatment there. I've worked on a few. Um, so maybe I can tell that story on a later day, but that one was I worked on somebody who was paraplegic on one whole side, the 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 whole left side, arm, face, leg, but they were complaining of pain either way. Quick story, I'll just do the recap. I have Jesus right on my shoulder, and this person only gave me 30 minutes to help alleviate the pain. And here's the biggest thing, I didn't even know they were in that condition until they walked through the door and they were being assisted by two other people. And I was like, I have no paperwork, no medical paperwork. Two people are bringing this person in, and they just give me a 10-second rundown of what they're facing. And they were in so much pain on the side that was flaccid, that wasn't moving. And I'm thinking, what am I supposed to do? What That's the first question I said, what am I supposed to do? But if there's one thing I always say to everybody, I have faith in what I do. So as I'm working, obviously we got to do light touch. At the very moment that I turned, they saw the tattoo of Jesus Christ on my shoulder. That person looked at me and said, "Is that Jesus?" And I said, "Yes, it is. He saved me 6 years ago, and now I'm here to help you." That person started crying so much, and they said, "Please help me." And everything I did, they felt so good. It felt so good to them that at the end, they were actually able to stand up on 2 feet for at least a minute. The,
That's amazing.
the person that brought them in called me 2 weeks later and said, "Thank you so much for helping us. My friend has no pain at the moment. No pain." Now, the condition they're in, because they were like that for 20 plus years, that didn't go away.
Right.
But the person's lifestyle of, I have no pain, I don't have to live in pain, that's how valuable massage can be. And all it did was take a little bit of faith and belief. And that's all it was. But we met at the middle right there. That's what we did. We met at the middle. The science, the modality, all that went out the window, and all that was left was the value of touch and the common ground that we have a belief and faith on something. And that's how I know that massage can change a person's mind and mentality to change their reality. If I can make somebody be in no more pain, guess what? That's a win. That's a win right there.
That's an
So,
awesome story. That was such a cool story. It gave me chills.
so here's one for you, and then I'll answer mine. What's the craziest way someone has injured themselves that you've seen?
Ooh. I think I spoke on this the last live that we had, but the craziest injury that I probably had was the bilateral collarbone breaks from motocross. Outside of that, like one client that I have, like I'll touch one area of her and then like her left foot will go numb and it's like completely like her wires are just it's just a constant battle of trying to figure out which wire goes to which
Yeah,
wire. But it's not really an injury, but it's just it's always a learning lesson every time she comes in of
yeah,
what location is going to refer to what other location.
yeah. Mine kind of parallels to yours. My craziest one was also a guy who rode bikes. He broke over 26 bones in his body
Wow.
and zero surgeries. Zero surgeries. He said, I'll let the bone heal itself. That body looked so mangled up. And
Wow.
but I was like, man, that's how you know God makes special people. I'd be in a hospital right
Yeah,
away. All
exactly.
right. Ever thought of working with these people? Sorry, it cut you off in the comment. Um, yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what that statement really means. I'm gonna sure it's referred to the traumatic event one. If I ever thought about working with these people, I have worked in cancer treatment centers before. Trust me, that's all light touch. It's all about just alleviating pain. Nobody should live in pain, regardless where you're at, in whatever stage of life you're at, in whatever ailments or sickness you're facing. Pain is the one thing healthcare providers try to subside the best we can. And as massage therapists, we have our tools and techniques to help subside pain. So nobody should just be living in agony. And when I say I want to help people, it's not just like making sure people are active and out there, but it's also everybody else who's maybe bedridden and needs a little bit of comfort. It's like we can hold a lot of value in that regard as well. So it doesn't always have to be the high performance person. When I say, at least for me, when I say I want to help everybody, even if it's somebody who's bedridden, if they believe I can help, I'm going to try my best, and we'll find some common ground. So, all right, example. Oh, right, I had brain hemorrhage. Oh, wow, for about a month and was paralyzed on the right side of the body. When I finally got feeling back, my right leg and shoulder were terrible in pain. Yeah, that's a very extreme condition, and it's not something a lot of massage therapists see every day. We
Hmm.
might get a situation like this once a year or once every other year. Every massage therapist has that one extreme person that they saw within the first decade of their career, where it's something like this. This is very extreme and unique that massage isn't always sought out at the beginning, but it can be. Again, what we have to know more. We have to know more extent about the medical condition, what your limitations are, and what we have to stay away from. We have to understand our contraindications, but we can usually typically work around all that because nothing we do is internal. We're not giving medicine. We're not doing IVs. It's all the value of touch. And that can send a good oxytocin effect to the person. It can send out really good feel good transmitters, and it could really amplify good blood flow. So there's a lot of value to just touch and exactly how we implement it. What's your ideas on that,
I
Kelly?
feel like I feel like yes, touch is very impactful on these type of people, but I feel like a lot of the times these people have seen doctors and the doctors write them off or don't listen to them, and we're sometimes their last line of defense against pain. Like they come to us last, and because we're not scientifically proven, we're not a medicine, we're not big pharma, we're not anything like that. If those people don't believe in holistic medicine to begin with, we're their last ditch effort for pain. And what we can do when they come in is just listen. Like sometimes that's all people really want is just for somebody to listen to their pain. Like understand, listen, like reiterate back to them like I understand that you're in pain and we can do everything in our power to help you. And sometimes that's enough to, like you said, change that mindset and okay, like
You're 100% right on that. You're 100% right.
yeah, I've seen a lot of people lately who are like, I don't trust doctors anymore. And it's not the doctor, it's just the doctors aren't personable. They don't give the people the time to explain how they feel, their emotions, their pain points, their all they want to do is just mask the symptoms and give them medicine. And it's like people come to see us because they've tried everything else and nothing else has worked.
Yep. All right, closing this up. What is the great things you love about owning a business, Kelly?
Ooh,
Massage business. Two great things that you love about owning a massage business.
helping people in the way that I think they need to be helped. I don't have to fall into anybody else's ideals. I can kind of do it the way I want to. And second off, it allows me to the freedom to spend as much time with my son and my husband as I want.
Oh, nice, nice. Well, I hope you can help me because I'm all messed up. Like really, really, really bad.
I'll do my
Really, really,
best.
really, really bad.
What
No,
about
that's
you? What are
good.
your two things?
My, I discovered who I really am as a person. I found out who I am, and just like you, helping other people. Those are the two things. You know, we can get so caught up in who we should be or who we have to be for society. But, you know, massage, you can, what I have learned just becoming the torture room and being recognized as the torture room guy. Some people don't even know my name is Miguel. I walk around and they're like, "Hey, is that the torture room guy?" You know, I'm like, you know, so some
Branding.
people don't know my name, but it made me become a person that I knew I didn't know I wanted to be. So I learned how to to discover who I am that allows me to help other people. Those are the two things that help me just run my business, you know. So, but anyways, we got to log off. So again, it was great talking to you, Kelly. I will DM you because I am looking at dates to get down to where you're at.
Okay.
Just need to clarify some things. Um, but yeah, and we'll discuss more of what we want to talk about next month. And we got to make it interesting. Let's talk about some real life shit.
Yeah. Science
Okay,
versus belief.
Sci- science versus belief. Oh man, I got quotes for days.
Oh
I
my
got quotes for days.
gosh.
Oh man, but you know what? I love
Same.
it. I love it because, you know, science and faith walk hand in hand. And you can sway one side more than the other, but they do walk hand in hand. And, you know, I think I'm slowly trying to prove that. It's one thing, I'm going to leak this out, that will be in my future book. So, but yeah. Anyways, peace out. We'll talk next time.